She was thrown out at 7 months pregnant. But that was the day her real life began. She was 7 months pregnant when her father told her to leave the house. Not tomorrow. Not after the baby was born. Not after things settled down. But that day, the sky looked normal. The world moved as usual. Cars passed. People laughed. Shops were open. But for Anita, everything stopped. She stood at the door of the only home she had ever known, her small bag in one hand, her other hand resting on her heavy belly. Her mother avoided her eyes. Her father's voice was cold. "You cannot stay here. Leave." And just like that, the door closed. Anita was only 19 years old. 19. An age when most girls are planning birthdays, college dreams, selfies with friends. But Anita was planning survival. She had once been full of dreams. She wanted to become a baker. Not just any baker. She wanted to own a beautiful cake shop with soft lights, glass shelves, and the smell of fresh vanilla in the air. She imagined children pressing their noses against her display window. She imagined writing happy birthday in colorful cream. She imagined her name printed on cake boxes. She had talent. She had passion. She had hope. And then she met him. He was charming, soft-spoken. He made her laugh in ways she never had before. He told her she was special. He said he would never leave. He promised forever. They talked every day. Morning messages. Late-night calls. Sweet words that felt like safety. She believed him. When she found out she was pregnant, she was scared, but also hopeful. She thought love would grow stronger. Instead, it disappeared. He stopped picking her calls. He replied late. Then not at all. One day, she realized she was blocked. His phone went silent. His social media vanished. He erased himself from her life like she never existed. Anita cried until her eyes burned. But the worst pain was still waiting at home. When she told her parents, the house became a storm. Her father shouted. Her mother wept loudly. Relatives were called. Voices filled the room. "How could you shame us? What will people say? You have destroyed everything." Anita tried to speak, tried to explain, tried to hold onto her mother's clothes and beg. "I'm still your daughter," she whispered. But shame was louder than love. And so she was thrown out. 7 months pregnant. No husband. No money. No home. Just a baby moving inside her. And fear moving inside her heart. The first night was the hardest. She slept outside a clothes shop. The floor was cold. Her back hurt. Mosquitoes buzzed around her. She cried quietly so no one would notice. The next day, she went to a church corridor. Someone allowed her to sit there. Another day, a friend let her stay overnight. But she could see it in their eyes. Pity, discomfort, distance. She was becoming a burden. One afternoon, she sat alone on a roadside bench. Her belly felt heavy. Her heart felt heavier. She looked down at her stomach and whispered, "Nobody is coming to save us, are they?" The baby kicked, and something shifted inside her. A small spark, a quiet strength. If no one was coming, then she would stand up herself. Anita remembered something. Flour on her hands. The smell of baked dough. The joy she felt when mixing butter and sugar. Baking. That was her love. That was her dream. She had no shop, no oven, no money, but she had skill. And sometimes skill is enough to start. She swallowed her pride and asked for help. It was humiliating at first. She knocked on doors. She spoke softly. She explained her situation. One woman gave her a small bag of flour. Another man gave her sugar. Someone donated a tiny stove. A friend allowed her to use their corridor to bake at night. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty. But it was a beginning. The first thing she baked was chinchin. Then meat pies. Then small cupcakes. Her back hurt from bending. Her feet swelled from standing too long. But she kept going. Every morning, she packed her items into a small container. Then she walked. To bus stops. To markets. To crowded streets. Fresh chinchin. Hot meat pies. Sweet cupcakes. People looked at her belly first. Then at her food. Some laughed. Look at her. Pregnant and selling on the street. Some ignored her. but some bought. One customer turned into two. Two turned into five. And slowly, something beautiful started growing. Not just the baby, but her courage. At 8 months pregnant, she was still walking to sell. At 9 months, she slowed down. But she didn't stop. Then one night, the pain started. She was terrified. She had little money saved. But a kind woman from the market helped her get to a clinic. After hours of pain, she heard the most beautiful sound of her life. A cry. Her son. She held him close. Tiny fingers. Warm skin. Innocent eyes. She named him Jeremiah, because even in her darkest days, God had not forgotten her. Jeremiah became her reason. Her strength doubled. Her fear turned into fire. She named her small baking business Jimmy's Treats. After her son, she wrote the name by hand on small paper labels. It wasn't fancy, but it was hers. Business slowly improved. 1 order became 5. 5 became 10. Birthday cakes. Small event orders. Snacks for meetings. She saved every coin carefully. She stopped spending on unnecessary things. She moved from the corridor into a tiny rented room. It was small, but it had a door she could close herself. That mattered. She bought a second-hand oven. She cried when she turned it on for the first time, because that oven wasn't just metal. It was proof. Proof that she was rising. Years passed. Jeremiah grew. He went to school. He proudly told his classmates, "My mommy makes the best cakes." Anita worked day and night. She learned new recipes from borrowed books. She watched others carefully. She improved her packaging. She designed a simple logo, Jimmy's Treats, printed clearly. Her name started traveling across the city. But Anita didn't forget her past. She remembered the loneliness, the fear, the feeling of being unwanted. So when she met other girls struggling, she helped them. She trained them for free. She taught them how to bake, how to sell, how to save money. She told them, "Don't wait for someone to rescue you. Build your own ladder." Her small room became a small bakery. Her small bakery became a shop. Her shop became a brand. One morning, as she dropped Jeremiah at school, she saw something that made her stop. A woman walked past holding a beautiful cake box. White, clean, professional. On it was printed clearly, Jimmy's Treats. Her logo, her name. She felt tears fill her eyes. They once closed the door on her. Now her name was entering doors across the city. Weddings, birthdays, celebrations. She was part of people's happiest moments. One evening, her phone rang. It was her mother. The voice on the other end sounded older, softer. "We heard about your shop." There was silence. Then her mother whispered, "We are proud of you." Anita closed her eyes. The pain didn't disappear, but it no longer controlled her. She had already forgiven them in her heart, because anger is heavy, and she had carried enough weight in her life. They thought her life ended at 7 months pregnant. They thought shame would destroy her. They thought she would beg to return. But what they didn't know was this. Sometimes being rejected is redirection. Sometimes being pushed out is the only way to discover how strong your legs are. Sometimes losing people is how you find yourself. Anita's story is not about pregnancy. It is not about betrayal. It is about power. The power to stand up when no one stands with you. The power to build when everything falls apart. The power to turn pain into purpose. If a door has closed on you, if someone has walked away, if people have laughed at your struggle, remember Anita. Remember the girl who slept outside shops. Remember the pregnant teenager who sold chinchin at bus stops. Remember the young mother who built an empire from flour and fire. You are not finished. You are not over. You are not defined by who left you. You are defined by what you build after they leave. Because sometimes, the day they throw you out is the day your real life begins.